Welcome everybody to the Brother Speak podcast. This is Brother Speak. You know, there's this crowd that always have an opinion on people's lives. And, it's not just online, but it's also in real life. You got these people telling you what you should be doing with your life, whether at a particular age, particular race, a particular gender. They're telling you what you should be doing. But then when you really look into these people's lives, you find out most times they're not even living the life that they're saying that you should be living. And then on top of that, they don't even look into your life and see why you're not doing what you say, what they think that you should be doing. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the should crowd, what you should be doing crowd, what you should be doing crowd. And we're going to talk about why they do what they do. This is the Brother Speak podcast. Your host, Brother Speak. Let's give some music and we'll begin.
So faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me. Put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want you to do is be more like me and be less like you. Can't you see that you're smothering me? Holding too tightly, afraid to lose control. 'Cause everything that you thought I would be is falling apart right in front of you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. And every second I waste is more than I can take. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want you to do is be more like me and be less like you. And I know I may end up failing too, but I know you were just like me, with someone disappointed in you. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want you to do is be more like me and be less like you. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Tired of being what you want me to be. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Tired of being what you want me to be.
Welcome properly to the Brother Speak podcast. This is Brother Speak. If you're listening to me for the first time, please like, comment, subscribe to the Brother Speak podcast on YouTube. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, just type in Bro Speak, BRO Speak. If you're so inclined, you can also follow me on the Anchor website, the Bro Speak Podcast. And I know I keep saying I'm going to put more on there, and I really am. But I gotta find the right thing to talk about, and maybe this one will be the one that I put on there because it's very important. Now, the Should Crowd. I know y'all wondering the title, the Should Crowd. Now, the Should Crowd is a group of people who always seem to be telling other people, what they should be doing in life. They are always telling people, oh, you should own this house. Oh, you should have a family. Oh, you should be putting your money away. Oh, you should be doing this with your money. You should be you should be telling other women how to treat women, how you should be treating women. How you should be how you should be treating women, how you should be treating men, how you should be raising your family. And then here's the thing with that. Now, some people do mean well. I mean, some people mean well when they do this. They've had success in a particular lifestyle. There's men who've been married for 30, 40 years, and they were able to make that relationship work. And there's nothing wrong with that. There have been men who've done things, and they've had their particular job. They've been in their particular profession for many years and been successful. There are many men who's own businesses, and they are able to be successful at it. And they want to share their wisdom with other people. And there's nothing wrong with it. You have women who do the same thing. They talk what women should be doing, what men should be doing, how to treat women. And a lot of times those people mean well. Now the problem with them is that they don't understand your particular situation. They don't understand what happened in your particular life to where you're in the position that you are, and how you feel, and however lifestyle you choose to live. And they don't understand the particulars, and they're not trying to understand. So they just have their judgment of you based on what you're talking about, and maybe how you are living at that moment. So, but then there's most people who, they always telling women people what should be doing, like how they should be handling the community, how they should be treating black women, how they should be treating black men, how they should be treating their mothers, their fathers, how they should be treating their children, how they should be dressing, how they should be moving in society, how they should be doing in the corporate world, how they should be doing their finances. Homie, a lot of things talking about what they should be doing. But here's where the problem comes in. A lot of these people are not living the lives that they are doing. They're not doing what they're telling you what you should be doing. It's very crazy. Very, very crazy. It's very crazy how people do that. And then what's what's funny about it is that they don't be living the lives that they talk about. Like for instance, you have guys online, these supposed players, these supposed max, these supposed pimps, these supposed uh, guys who had a lot of success with women, and they're telling you what you should be doing with women and what you shouldn't be doing with women. One big thing they talk about, well, you shouldn't be tricking. You shouldn't be paying for sexual access to women. But then when you look into these guys' lives, and the other big one, you shouldn't pay so much for a date. You shouldn't even be taking women out on dates anyway. They give it up for free. They give up sex for free. Why are you paying for it? But then when you look into their lives, I mean, really, really dig deep into their lives, you see a lot of them been divorced multiple times. They got baby mamas everywhere. They haven't had a successful relationship or a long lasting relationship. They don't got their money right. Oh, they may flash a big stack of ones, but when you really look into their lives, they're not at even the pinnacle of where they should be in life. They're not successful. They don't have a successful business. They don't have generational wealth. They don't have nothing. But they're trying to tell you what you should be doing. And and it's funny, and particularly about the women part. Oh, you should get submission from the women. But then you look in their lives, it's like, bro, you don't have that submission with your women. You living off your woman. You are dependent on a female. You depend on a female for validation. You depend on a female for your very livelihood. Without a woman, you're nothing. But you're telling men how to live their lives with women. Very weird to me. And then you have women who do the same thing. You got women who telling, in particularly, they tell men how to treat women, uh, put the woman first, and all this kind of stuff. But then when you look at their lives, they haven't had a successful relationship with a man. Every man that probably left, they've been with, has used them as a cum dumpster. They've used them as a just a stepping stone. They can't have a functioning relationship with men, and then they can't even have a functioning relationship with women. It's very crazy, man. It's very, very crazy. Then they go into the children. You should be teaching your children this. You should be teaching your children that. But then when you look in their lives and look at their children is all messed up. They got children in jail. They got children homeless. They got children on the street. And then some of the children don't even deal with them. Don't even talk to them. They don't even know where their children are. Like, you know that commercial. It's 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where your children are? They'll be the one being the well, yeah, that's them. So why do people do this? Why are they part of the shirt crowd? Why is it that it's easier for them to tell you how you should be living, but they don't live the lives that they say they want you to live? Well, here's the thing. One is easier to judge others than it is to fix oneself. I mean, let's face it. It's hard to look in that mirror. It's hard to look in that mirror and say, this is why I need to fix on myself. Without all these different distractions of other people, yes men, yes women, people who want to be that are sympathetic to others, but they take it too far and then they give these people out. One of the people that, I kind of detest is the divestors. The ones in particularly in the black community. I know the white people, they might be have some white people that want to divest from the white community too. But the thing of it is, these people want to divest, but they don't divest. They don't remove themselves from the particular race they want to divest from because, again, once you truly divest, now you have to look in that mirror. Now you have to look at yourself and see where the fault lies. See, you got people who will go from one race of people, their own race, and be fed up with them and then go to another race of people to date. But see, they still have the same problems that they had with their own race with these other group of people. And then and they get abused over and over again. But the thing of it is they can't look in that mirror because there's always someone in their own group that will welcome them back. And then they can't look in the mirror. And then they become maybe like a black person, they become pro-black, or they're a white person, they're speaking against the white people, against these white races. But the thing of it is, they don't look in that mirror. It's always something to do that won't let them look in the mirror. You look at the people with the body positivity, the women with the body positivity. And it's everybody's fault why they won't accept me. Why they won't accept me? They making me feel bad. They making me feel guilty for being overweight, unhealthy, morbidly obese. But they won't look in that mirror. They'll blame everybody else for me being fat, but look in that mirror. With this sugar crowd, self accountability is very difficult. It's very, very difficult. It's very difficult because, see, they don't want to look in that mirror. They always want to look at everything else. And it's so easy because it's online. Online, they always have a group that will take them in. They always have a group that will play on their hatred for others instead of looking into themselves as why they can't have the success that they have. And this is not just black people, this white people, Asian, I don't know. They all have that particular group that will blame everybody else but themselves. And then the other reason why they have this shirt crowd because they don't believe in in people having choices, especially not to do the things that they want done. Because see, if other people do what they want them to do, they the ones benefit. Now, like these people who are community minded, so to speak, they're not really community minded. They want other people to put in the work that they don't want to do, but then they get the benefit at the end. It's really crazy when you really think about it. And so when you hear them talk, and me, I can instantly pick it up. I'm like, look, dude, you're trying to get me to do something you don't want to do. Especially in particular, like you have women who talk about what men should be doing. Men should be treating women like this. They should be treating women like this. But then it's the funny thing. When you look into their dating history, you find out more often than not, the men that they are dating don't even do half the stuff that they don't do even half the stuff that they say that other men should be doing. And then on top of that, they don't want to be the women that will get these men to want to do the things that they say that men should be doing. Because in the end of the day, a lot of them are not worthy of it. And it's the same with guys. Guys say the same thing. They want the submission. They want the women to be feminine. They want these women to be supportive, nurturers, but they don't want to be the type of men that these women would want to do that for. They don't want to be those type of men. So that's why they have an issue with women and they want to say what women should be doing. I remember ARC, Alan Roger Curry, said this. I'm pretty sure it's an old saying, but I remember ARC saying this. He said in a video once that if somebody is saying what you should do, it's that they can't make them. And that's very important when I hear both sides talk about what men and women should be doing. The thing of it is, you can't make people do it. You can't make them. You can't convince them. You can't give any incentive as to why they should be doing what you think they should be doing. Because let's be honest, a lot of us, the treatment, the good treatment that men and women afford each other, a lot of us are not worthy of it. They're not worthy of that submission. They're not worthy of that protection. They're not worried about men being providing and protecting and being leaders. They're not worthy of it. And the men, they're not worthy of these women being submissive, being the followers that they need them to be. They're not worthy of it. And then let's talk about jobs and all that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of people talk about what I should have this position. I should have this position. You know, this is what you should do to get to that position. We should be helping each other. But the funny thing is, when they're in a position to help someone, they won't do it. They won't do it. They won't help nobody. Even when somebody has helped them on the job, when it's time for them to do it, they will not do it. They talk about what a supervisor should be doing. This supervisor should be doing it this way. This supervisor should be doing it that way. But when it's time for them to step up, when somebody say, "Hey, why don't you go be a supervisor?" They won't do it. So I don't know. And then they have excuses as for why. It's all about some of these people want people to take the hits for them so they can benefit. That's what the shit crowd is. The shit crowd is basically people taking the hits for them so they can just benefit and just stay in their delusional world. A lot of these shit crowds, they hate individuality. They hate when, in particular, guys say, "Well, you know what? I don't need a woman around me all the time. I want to do me. I, you know what? I'm just going to do me." Or the woman saying, "You know what? I'm just going to do me. I'm not about helping these bum ass dudes or these ancient chicks. I'm going to do me." They hate that. They hate that because there's a person that they cannot control. They cannot sponge off of. They hate that. That's why, I preach over here individuality. I'm individuals. I'm black people because I I'm not supporting people just to lay around. I'm about helping people that want to help themselves and actually want to succeed. But I'm not about helping people who just want to lay around and want to yell at you about what you doing. Yell about what men should be doing for the community, what women should be doing in the community, but they're not gonna do anything for themselves. I'm not about that. And to be fair to everybody, I've been part of that shit crowd. But I catch myself and then I like, uh-uh. Let me stop myself from being that shit crowd. Because I don't know this person's history. I don't know their story. So I have to be careful about that and actually talk to people, understand where they're coming from and why they live in the line they are before I have my should moment. You should do this, you should do that. And I know, and it's very hard. It's just like people say you shouldn't hate your mother. You should love your mother, even though she may have been a terrible mother. She may have done things that had affected your psyche. And guys say that they hate their mothers and all that kind of stuff. Well, you shouldn't hate your mother. Your mother gave you life. Okay. And I usually say, you really do need to look at the mother. Now, am I saying use that to be a fuel to hate all women or nothing like that? No, I don't preach that, and I don't think that's a good thing either. But I always say you have to understand the person to find out the why, or why they hate their mother, why they may hate their father. Find out the why, and then we can make it and make their judgment. And then we can teach them, hey, no, you can hate your mother, you can hate your father, but don't let it rule your life. Find out the why they did what they did. Now, if they don't want to tell you or nothing like that, okay, it's just the way it is. But for other people to tell somebody not to hate their mother, not to hate their father, no, you got to know the person first. Understand the why. Go back to my earlier podcast, my earlier video earlier. You have to understand the why of why people act the way they did in order to really give them the type of advice that they need. Because if you don't understand it, you don't understand why, and you just want to hate on them for saying the stuff they do because you have an issue with someone hating their mother or hating their father, then you're part of the problem, and you will never solve the situation. You're just gonna be part of that shit crowd, and the shit crowd really don't help anybody. They just want people to shut up and just do stuff. And then at the end of the day, they get the benefit, but the people who they technically should do something never benefits. So with that, I'm gonna end it. Facebook got mad at me because I played that song earlier, but I don't give a shit. I'm not trying to make money off it. I'm not trying to make money off of these videos. It's just to pass on information. information that needs to be said. And with that, I'm gonna bid you adieu. You have a good one.